Alex Eala says home loss hurts more but takes positives. Manila, Philippines. Alex Eala admitted that losing at home hurts a little more, but she's taking her WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open quarterfinal exit in stride after receiving massive support from the Filipino fans. Despite yielding to Camila Osorio of Colombia, 6-4, 6-4, Eala received love from the home crowd on Thursday night at Rizal Memorial Tennis Center. It was a tough pill to swallow for the Filipino tennis ace, who missed a chance to contend for a title in the country's first ever hosting of a WTA event, but she said the fans' support helped her cope with the disappointment. It's so nice to feel the support, especially during a loss or during the tough moments in the match, said Eala. It's a double-edged sword, I think. On one end, it does cushion the blow because you know that they are there for you and they support. On the other hand, it hurts a little more and it's a little harder to accept because you know you want to do the best for them. The 20-year-old, however, said she had no regrets and remained grateful for what she called a historic week for Philippine tennis. There were certain aspects of my game that just didn't show up today. I think there were certain things I really could have done better. But it doesn't have to be a big deal. I think I have some good things to take away as well from this week in general, she said. We take it in our stride and move on. I'll just do my best to learn from what I can this match. The Rafa Nadal Academy graduate, who played with a bandage wrapped on her right thigh coming from the Australian Open, admitted she had too many unforced errors and praised Osorio for being consistent all throughout their match. I think Camila is a very consistent player. I also think that she's very smart on court. So I think she changed the rhythms and she never really allowed me to be in a comfortable position. In the end, everyone's goal now is to make the other person uncomfortable, Eala said. But I think she executed really well. I definitely think I had my chances in some moments. But today she played better than me in those moments. Eala now heads to a WTA 500 tournament in Abu Dhabi, bringing with her a memorable first home stint as she continues to carry Philippine tennis forward. I think it was an overall good week. Of course, I'm disappointed about today. I don't think I've had better days. But it's just how it is. I have to accept it and there's always next week, Eala said. The crowd knows your name when you play at home. They say it with pride, roll it on their tongues like a promise already kept. For Alex Eala, home soil is more than a surface beneath her shoes. It is memory, expectation, love, and history pressed into every step she takes toward the baseline. That is why a loss at home hurts more. Not because the opponent was stronger on the day, or because the scoreboard was unkind, but because the echoes of that loss linger longer when they bounce back from familiar walls. Alex Eala has never shied away from ambition. From a young age, she carried the weight of being the future of Philippine tennis, a phrase that sounds flattering until you realize how heavy it can be. Playing at home sharpens everything. The cheers are louder, the silence after an error deeper, the emotions less forgiving. When she says a home loss hurts more, it isn't self-pity speaking. It's honesty. At home, you want to give more than your best. You want to give certainty. You want to hand the crowd a win they can wrap in pride and take home with them. You want parents, kids, and first-time tennis fans to leave believing they witnessed something inevitable, the rise of their own. When that doesn't happen, the disappointment doesn't feel shared. It feels personal. Yet what separates athletes who endure from those who fade is not how they avoid pain, but how they listen to it. Eala's response to defeat has never been about excuses. Instead, she looks for meaning. In the aftermath of a home loss, she speaks of positives, not in the hollow way people do when they are trying to move on too quickly, but in the deliberate way of someone who understands that growth often wears the disguise of frustration. There are matches you win and forget, and matches you lose that stay with you, quietly rewriting how you train, how you think, how you compete. A home crowd magnifies mistakes, but it also magnifies lessons. There is something uniquely brave about standing in front of your own people after a loss. You can't hide behind anonymity. You can't disappear into an airport lounge and become just another player on tour. At home, you remain visible, vulnerable, human. And in that vulnerability, Alex Eala finds clarity. She talks about positives because she sees the long game. The sharper serve that held up under pressure. The rallies where she matched intensity point for point. The moments when nerves threatened to take over, but didn't. These are not small things. These are the building blocks of career that understands progress is not linear. For a country still carving out its place in global tennis, every Eala match carries symbolic weight. Wins ignite belief. Loss is tested, but belief that only survives victory is fragile. The stronger kind, the kind that lasts, learns how to sit with disappointment and still say, "We're getting there." Eala embodies that steadier belief. She knows that home losses hurt more because they come wrapped in love. Expectations are simply another name for hope. When fans lean forward in their seats, when they gasp at a missed opportunity, when they stay until the last ball is struck, they are not demanding perfection. They are investing emotionally. Losing in that environment is painful precisely because the bond is real. But bonds are not broken by loss. They are deepened by resilience. Taking positives is not about ignoring the sting. It is about refusing to let the sting define the story. Alex Eala's story has never been about one match, one tournament, or one result. It is about accumulation of experience, composure, confidence. Every home loss adds another layer of understanding. How to manage pressure, how to reset emotionally, how to carry national pride without letting it crush you. In a sport that can be lonely and unforgiving, home crowds remind players why they started. Even in defeat, there is meaning in hearing applause after a tough loss, in seeing young fans waiting for autographs, in knowing that your journey matters to more than just rankings and statistics. So yes, a home loss hurts more. It lingers. It stings. It follows you into quiet moments. But for Alex Eala, it also teaches more. It teaches patience in a culture hungry for breakthroughs. It teaches balance between ambition and self-compassion. It teaches that representing something bigger than yourself doesn't mean you must always win. It means you must always show up with honesty, effort, and belief in what's coming next. The pain of losing at home is real, but so is the promise that comes with it. And in choosing to take positives from that pain, Alex Eala shows the kind of strength that doesn't just chase victories. It earns them, slowly, deliberately, and on her own terms.